What's going on, Schmoedown fans? Welcome back to another episode, a special Friday episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
Very special because we don't want to be dragging our episodes out, so we are doing a early episode covering the Throwdown, which got released to the public today. Which is, because we're, Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're right.
Yeah.
I just
Scheduling.
can't keep it straight in my brain.
Yeah. No, what? And, it's been a week, so spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet. I'm sure.
Come back later.
I'm sure.
Once you've seen it.
Sure, the patrons have already seen it, but by the time this gets released, it's already been released to the public. So I don't even know why we're doing spoiler warnings. But anyways,
you never know. Be careful. If you haven't seen it, please.
Yeah, I mean,
don't ruin it for yourself. Come back.
You never know with people. I'm like, oh, you should give a spoiler warning. It's like,
yeah, we only give about 47 each time.
Yeah, and we gave you plenty of time to watch it.
You never know.
You never know, though. But let's go ahead and get into this. We have two matches to go over.
Yes, we do. So we've got the Throwdown. We've got the first match that we got to talk about is VIDEODREW, the undercard. VIDEODREW versus Jen Kempe. VIDEODREW is representing the dungeon. Jen Kempe representing the suspects. Oh, my bad. Jen, the meme queen Kempe. And VIDEODREW is just eternal. Yeah. VIDEODREW.
Kempe making her official singles debut. She debuted in the IG tournament against Alex Damon. Had a decent showing. I think she's got a category. It's been a while since that match. I can't remember, and I don't have my phone with me to look up stats.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, so.
But VIDEODREW is with the dungeon, and Jen is with the usual suspects.
Yeah, and this is strange because usually it's like, all right, because we had this argument before, like, why are we getting these random matches? Like, it makes sense to have other factions have opportunity for points outside of the tournaments now because it just seemed to be tournament season. And it's like, oh yeah, it's like give them opportunity, but the dungeon is out of it, so it's like,
yeah, I don't know how it gets determined.
I mean, because of records, I guess. Because
Maybe.
VIDEODREW has yet to get a singles win, and Jen Kempe is making her singles debut. So this is just curious why the dungeon was in this match, but I'm not running things.
Yeah. So round one, Jen missed a question about Ben is back. But Miss VIDEODREW got a perfect round and got the bonus. She ended that round 7-9 in favor of Miss VIDEODREW. Round two, Jen goes first. She spins away from Jodie Foster, and she gets horror.
Ooh,
and it was the kind of thing where I was like, oh, well, at least it's not there for VIDEODREW.
Yeah, and you actually pointed this out. It's like, oh yeah, now you take it off the wheel. I'm like, that's actually good for you because now you take it off the wheel for VIDEODREW.
Yeah,
but you're like, oh, you reminded me. It's like, well, it's some more opportunities for steals.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if I take it off the wheel for her. If it's not something that I'm good at, she's just going to take all my points anyway. It's like she got to do 2 slices.
Sometimes it works out for you, like with the Barbarian Hlavik match.
Yeah.
Hlavik is fantastic in, it was MCU. I think Barbarian was like, I can swing it, but it's like, you take it off the wheel for him, see what happens.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting a huge weakness for Hlavik.
Yeah.
And it went in their favor. But in this case, it's like, oh, you miss.
It's not that it went poorly. It's just, it's the kind of thing where it's like, it's not always, oh, great, now it's off the wheel for them. It's like, well, okay, well, you got to actually do something with it now.
Yeah, and you have to be careful.
Otherwise, you're just giving them like 2 turns worth of points, potentially. So she gets horror. She goes to multiple choice 3 times. Luckily, she got 2 of them. One of them, she missed it, and it did get stolen. So VIDEODREW goes. She spins SNL movies, and in an interesting turn of events, decides to keep it.
That's interesting. I was like, wow, I guess she likes SNL films.
I feel like right now, SNL is a very surface level category.
Yeah. Is this one of the newer categories?
Yeah.
It is?
I mean, when you ask questions about like Mary Catherine whatever in Superstar, it's like, that's a very surface level question.
Well, because I remember the beginning of the season, they announced several different new categories. And was SNL one of them?
I believe so,
I know that one category. Oh my God, that one African-American director, the black director, Tyler Perry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was like, oh yeah, it's obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah, no,
five of
I'm
them.
pretty sure this was among the crop of new
Mm-hmm.
slices. But she did decide to go with it. And she went to multiple choice one time and got it right. So
Yeah.
by the end of round 2, 11-17 in favor of Videodrew.
VIDEODREW is killing it.
Killing it.
Yeah, and I
Hasn't
feel
missed
like
so far.
SNL, especially since it's a new category, it's a little bit more niche. Niche.
Niche.
I say both.
Niche.
Niche.
Depends on how fancy you wanna sound.
You know what I mean? Like it's one of those, either you saw it or you didn't see it. It's not like oh, MCU has like a huge following. It's like SNL films are like, I might have seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Night at the Roxbury's a million times.
Especially when
a
they,
million times.
like, it's Pat was one of her questions.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not a very, Night at the Roxbury, well, I guess it's a generational thing. I feel like if you ask a kid this day, like, you know, that whatever, I forget what song
you know
they
what I
bounce
mean?
to, but
You know what I mean? People our age be like, I remember that film.
Yeah,
no,
Night at the Roxbury.
The Ladies' Man. No, it's a lady.
You know, those types of characters. Like Pat, when they asked whatever that question was, I was like, oh yeah, that one. Yeah. But I feel like if you ask some, Gen Zer right now, they'd be like,
Who?
what?
Yeah.
Are they a TikToker?
Are they even well, no. What was the last SNL film? MacGruber, was the MacGruber the last one that was made? Somebody in the comments will correct us. But yeah, it was just one of those decades where like SNL films were like hot hands.
Yeah.
And once that movie was made, the cast members sort of like left.
Yeah, because they made it big.
They made it big. They made their own movie. But yeah,
she did really well.
she did very well. And I think she
surprising.
And because I don't know how old Videodrew is.
I don't know either.
I think she might be around our age.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a big reason why she's good in it, because she's a part of that generation that knows these films.
Maybe when there was a big,
when it was a big commodity,
bucket of SNL movies.
It felt like it was like an SNL movie every single year.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah. Luckily, we gave that up for Star Wars every year. Round 3.
And MCU films.
2-pointer for Jen. She gets Dance. Which 2007 dance musical has Zac Efron, Christopher Walken, Amanda Bynes, and John Travolta? Mm-hmm. I did not even know all those names were in one thing together. Wow. She got it. 3-pointer for Jen. New releases. You'll find a team known as Ammo in what 2020 action film? She did miss.
What was it? It ended up being, oh God, it's like,
I don't know why you asked me those questions. Like I'm ever
I'm surprised
going
you don't
to know.
I'm surprised you don't write the answer to if they miss it. It's like, oh, they missed it because I don't know.
If you need to know the answer, watch the match. Even though I also
I have
watched
a
the
bad
match.
short-term memory. I'm surprised I can retain all this Star Wars knowledge.
I have my memory banks work in a different way.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. Like my memory bank is different for like
It's wired differently.
It's wired differently for like Star Wars, and
there's certain things that they go into that short-term cache and then they just get dumped
like
daily.
Recycle bin.
Yeah, that's what my dad calls it. My dad has selective memory, and like my mom will tell him to do something, typical husband-wife stuff.
Honey-do lists,
and
that type of
stuff like that. And she'll tell him to do something or ask him something or just say something. And then later on, she'll be like, "Hey, honey, remember that thing about the thing?" And he's like, "No." And then my mom will like turn to me and be like, if I was there, like, "You heard him, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, I don't know. It's in the recycle bin already." So that's what my dad calls it. So yeah, a lot of short-term stuff. If it's committed to my short-term memory, boom, recycle bin pretty quick.
Yeah.
There's at least a daily wipe.
Yeah.
And this is already gone.
Yeah, like it's like that for names for me. Like I'm terrible with names unless it's the Star Wars name.
Yeah, like when you meet somebody new and they're like, "Hey, I'm John," and you're like, "Cool." What? Yeah, like a handful of people that we met in person in this community. It's like, yeah, I already forgot your name unless I watch them on a daily basis But I could literally have a conversation, walk away, and be like, "I don't know what that person's name is," and I just talked to them.
John,
Usually
Jason, John.
I'm usually okay with it.
There's a J in it, right? My name's Tom, right?
Well, what are you gonna do? You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
So the end of that story is I don't remember the answer to her 3-pointer. Some 2020 action film.
God, it's on the tip of my tongue too.
5-pointer, not me. 5-pointer for Jen. Comic book movies. Good thing she just competed in IG.
Mm-hmm.
Who directed X-Men Dark Phoenix?
Ooh, and I remember saying like, "This is a 5-pointer."
Yeah, it was like just a straight up director question, but I don't know. Maybe Dark Phoenix.
I mean, it's one of those where it's like it's easily confusable. Yeah, Bryan Singer directed. It's like, no, he produced it.
And again, I don't remember the answer, but maybe it's
It was
not
the
a
guy
well-known
that wrote.
director.
It was the guy that wrote X-Men Last Stand, that god awful X-Men film.
Oh no,
And then he basically rewrote it and directed it. It was basically the same film
with a different.
with a different cast.
Yeah.
A couple different things here
You
and
know
there.
what'll
They're
fix it? Sansa Stark.
You know
That's what'll do it.
Basically, what it is, you know what will fix this? Aliens. And that was basically the biggest difference.
Put aliens in it.
They brought aliens from another planet, came in. I mean, that's basically how it is in the comic book and the 90s show that I love. But
There were aliens in Dark Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I watched about 5 minutes of Dark Phoenix on a plane one time.
I would watch it over Last Stand. I'll tell you that much for free. But
I don't remember Last Stand. I think that's in the recycle bin.
Oh, well, rightfully so, because it's like Last Stand and X-Men Origins is like, ooh, which one is worse?
Origins?
X-Men Origins.
If I even ever maybe watch that, it's in the recycle bin, and then I emptied the recycle bin. Because I don't even know if I've seen that.
I think you saw it once, and it's just like, woof. It's surprising the Wolverine films, not the X-Men ones, but like the ones that are Wolverine movies. It's surprising how good they got over the course. Because like I believe this again, correct me in the comments, but I believe at least the second one, the Wolverine and Logan, were directed and written by the same person.
Logan was really good.
Logan is probably
I definitely cried at the end of that movie.
Logan is probably my favorite comic book movie.
Wow.
But like it's tied with several other ones.
It was really good. I remember being like,
yeah,
what is this? And then I watched it. I'm like, whoa.
I remember being
real good.
appalled that it didn't get some kind of Oscar win.
I know. It should have. Was it nominated?
It was nominated for Best Original Screenplay. Not original, adapted screenplay. Sorry. The Best Adapted Screenplay.
There should be an IG Oscar category.
I'm saying that movie's probably the best X-Men film.
It was real good.
Right behind for me is Days of Future Past.
I love that one too.
I love that one. But Logan,
and I liked First Class.
Logan is on its you put all the X-Men films together in one, even including Deadpool, because he's technically a part of the X-Men franchise. You put all those movies together, Logan is on another level.
Yeah.
Of its own.
Yeah.
I was like, God. Did you ever watch that, the 90s cartoon?
No, but I played the arcade game and I was always Storm. Always at my neighborhood arcade.
What is it on? Yeah, the 90s thing is on Disney Plus now. So.
I don't think I watched that. I was watching Ninja Turtles, probably too busy doing that.
I love X-Men. It was so good.
Yeah.
Anyways,
2 point. Oh, okay, so yeah, she got her 5-pointer. Bounces over to Drew.
Don't
she
remember the
avoids
guy's name.
The
but
TKO.
Yeah.
Oh no, none at all.
No.
2-pointer for Drew. Very exciting because I knew this
the
one.
TKO.
Wait, what did I say?
No, avoids the TKO.
Oh yeah,
button,
I thought
hot button where
she
Charlotte
avoided the
Flair used.
TKO, and which she did.
She did.
She absolutely did.
She had to answer all of her questions, right?
Yeah, she had to answer all, or she had to
at least
get her. She had to make her way through all three to even make Drew move.
Mm-hmm.
So 2-pointer for Video Drew. Very excited about this one. Musicals. Who plays Matron Mama Morton in Chicago?
Oh, I'm surprised you're like, oh, who is it?
Oh yeah, I know. I was blanking for a second.
You ended up getting it though. I mean, again, it's a 2-pointer, but like,
ask any of the chickies in my pen. Such a good soundtrack.
You listen to that soundtrack like
they'll tell you I'm the biggest mother hen.
I haven't seen Chicago.
It's fun.
I know the soundtrack.
Doesn't it have Obi-Wan in it?
No, you're thinking. Does it? I think you might be thinking Moulin Rouge.
I'm thinking of Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
Never mind. He's not in that.
I always try to check myself before I wreck myself. Because I've been doing that a lot in these past episodes. Like, oh yeah, it's this movie, right? Nope, it's not that movie.
I love them all, and all of them love me.
I'm sure all our viewers are like, Andrew's an idiot right now because I've been saying things not only about movies but about the Schmoedown. I'm like, nope, that's completely wrong, Andrew.
Reciprocity. Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Chicago, but I know the soundtrack
It's real
because
good. I
love
the soundtrack.
Because of you, I know the soundtrack.
I can go through every one of those songs. Ooh, Cell Block Tango. hot little potatoes in that number. So anyway, she got it. 18-19 in favor of VIDEODREW. Takes it home for the dungeon. Fantastic match for VIDEODREW. Didn't miss any of her questions.
It's the best match she's ever played.
Heck yeah. And she actually looked like she might have gotten a little emotional at the end, which made me, water up in my eye holes. Yeah. So it was very nice. It was a cute moment.
I could not be happier for VIDEODREW because VIDEODREW is one of these competitors where she's in this. I'm not gonna name any other names, but she's in this pool of competitors where it's like, how many chances are we going to give this person to prove themselves? Because we know that they know themselves, but like they just, for whatever reason, they just can't
find their footing.
They can't find their footing. They can't find their that win.
Yeah.
And she's also in this category of people this game means a lot to them, especially after this reaction that we got that they got out of her.
It's easy to think that she's indifferent or apathetic to the Schmoedown with her character, but you can't watch the end of this match and think, oh yeah, VIDEODREW doesn't really give a
Yeah.
She definitely cares, and I full disclosure, my eyes got watery when I saw her kind of get verklempt. It was a cute moment,
and I love seeing competitors like this because there's I don't know, I can't talk about this way about every single competitor, but like some it's like, oh yeah, I lost, I'm here for the fun of it, whatever. But then there's other competitors where it's like, God, I put everything I have into this.
Yeah.
And VIDEODREW is starting to get into that subject where she's putting in the work, and not only with her knowledge, but her character has come
my God,
such a long way.
Such a long way.
I remember when she first debuted and she did that whole VIDEODREW says
it
stick.
got old.
It got old really fast. And I was like, she needs to, find her footing. Like all rookie competitors do when they have this strong character.
Yeah.
It's like, give them a couple more matches, give them like maybe half a year to a season.
Yeah, they're just kind of testing things out.
Yeah, and she's found a spot for this character that is
she has
perfect.
Just settled into this character
it's
real
perfect.
well.
Especially keep her in the dungeon next season because her and Kaiser
oh my God,
are just so good.
That's one of my favorite parts of her matches is when in between rounds when Kaiser and VIDEODREW have like 60 seconds to confer and talk about whatever the previous or the next round. And they just talk about nonsense for 60 seconds. And it's amazing.
And I almost forgot, there's another thing that VIDEODREW was doing this entire match that I was just, I love this bit. It was the bucket of Sam Levine. Like, I can't remember what she called it, the petty, not petty challenges.
She didn't use the word petty, but it wasn't petty or pedantic, but those are words people like to throw around. I don't remember what she said, but it was along those lines.
Yeah, and she kept pulling. It's like, I got another one here. I was like, I love this
that was
bit.
pretty funny.
I love this bit.
I was waiting for the 1,000 years.
But that's what I'm saying. She found her footing with this character, and she's starting to.
Or she has.
She has, and like when she first came, I was like, God, I don't think I want to see this chick anymore because
really
it got really old real fast. And then she got in a few more matches.
Yeah.
She got partnered with Tom, and their chemistry was fun. She got partnered with new Tom. I don't know if we'll see new Tom again.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, but then she finds her chemistry with Kaiser in the dungeon, and it just fits perfectly. And it's like, God, give her more matches because I want to see. And that she'll put in the work because of this reaction that we got out of her.
It was a rare moment of actual emotion, and it was so cute.
Oh, it was great. So
I loved it.
It's just, I'm so happy for it. It's not only like, oh yeah, it's a win. This is a very convincing win.
She crushed it.
Not a single question missed. Every opportunity for points gotten.
Yeah, I mean, she went to multiple choice one time, but she didn't miss anything.
Yeah, it was great.
It was fantastic, and yeah, I could not be happier for her. It's just there's certain feel good wins that you're like, oh my God, I am genuinely so happy for that person personally.
Yeah.
And this is one of those matches,
absolutely,
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and as far as Jen Kempe goes, I mean,
yeah, I mean, she'll be back.
She'll be back. I mean, she didn't. It's not like she got crushed in this. I mean, she hit a couple of bumps here and there in both her IG debut and her singles debut. I mean, who knows?
That's not uncommon in your debut season.
Yeah, I mean, just so happens like, will she be on the Usual Suspects next season, or will she end up somewhere else? Who knows?
I mean, she is a cross division competitor. She's
I mean,
singles and IG, and if you've done singles, what's to say you can't do teams? So she has the potential to be a triple threat.
Yeah, I mean, like some people might look at like a Star Wars competitor, myself included, but like, hey, you want to jump into IG? It's like, It's like, what about singles? It's like,
no, you don't want to see that, baby.
No. You don't want to. If you want to see me embarrass myself, sure.
Put me in singles.
But
I've seen everything.
Oh man, watch our watch-alongs, or play-alongs.
I am so good.
Nicki's so good.
It is scary.
Yeah, but I mean that's a value that she has over other competitors.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I can compete in multiple divisions now. So, her stock is higher than others. So I wouldn't.
I'm pretty sure we're 100% going to see her again next season.
Absolutely.
I'm not worried about not seeing her again. She'll be back.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of will she stay with the usual suspects?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And it's just a missed opportunity for the suspects now, not able to get points, because again, the dungeon is basically keeping them from additional points. That's pretty much what this match came down to.
Basically.
But yeah.
So the next match we have
undercard. Super happy for VIDEODREW.
the overcard
the main event.
The main event. Oh boy, it's a big
Wildberry's retirement match.
Wildberry's Civil War retirement match. So we are presented with a very different.
This is actually bothering me. Sorry.
Is it an eyelash?
Make a wish.
Make a wish.
You know what to wish for.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can't tell you guys. Sorry.
It's a secret.
Won't come true. So we're presented with an Eliot Dewberry, who is very different than what we're used to.
Oh yeah.
He has his head is shaven. His facial hair is trimmed. He's wearing a suit. He's just looking very clean cut, put together, polished. He's got a different kind of attitude about him. And he's, talking that trash. Very different Dewberry than we're used to.
It's like a sober Dewberry.
What?
Because usually when they're playing, they're like drinking. I don't think he had.
Was
he
a
drinking?
sober Dewberry.
Sober. What did you think I said?
I heard silver.
Silver.
I heard silver Dewberry.
Okay.
My bad.
Potato, tomato.
Potato. Yeah, very different.
Yeah, I mean,
It was weird.
Yeah, it was.
And then Josh comes in. We got to see Amanda's very adorable bump. And,
the wild baby.
The wild baby cameo. First cameo in the Schmoedown. Very cute. But Josh was just Josh. He was wearing one of his crazy jackets.
And they actually had him come out to Wild Thing, which is like, oh, wow. Nice. I mean, I guess they're just throwing caution in the wind for copyright for this one because
it's Josh Macuga. It's a big one. We haven't seen him in a while. Might be the last time. We'll see. What I wouldn't give to see Josh Macuga's closet with
the suits.
Wherever he's got a section of his suits, man, what I wouldn't give to see
he's gotta give up some of that closet space for baby stuff.
I mean, I assume the baby might have their own closet, but who knows? I don't know.
I don't know what their apartment.
I don't know what their living situation is, but I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, we lost closet space when we had a baby. Sort of. Not really. Don't
we didn't.
Ignore me. Ignore me.
Don't listen. No, we didn't. She's got her own closet.
Her stuff bleeds into other places.
Her clothes are so tiny.
Her stuff goes off into other places.
Oh, the house at the end of a good regular day, it looks like a hurricane ripped through the house. Hurricane toddler.
Anyways. But I was...
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the match. So it was a regular old Josh Macuga coming in, exciting to see him. And he was kind of like, hey, man, I've been answering my calls and blah, blah, blah. And then Dewberry's talking about, like, I'm going to retire you. And it was very upsetting. I didn't like it at all. But let's get into it.
And it's a corruption versus swag again. These two just can't, escape each other.
They're just doing the tango all the way until
the entire season, basically. It's been swag and corruption just trading blows.
Yeah. So round one. Eliot missed a question about crazy, stupid love. And then a question about Nightcrawler and X-Man.
Yes.
And then Josh missed a question about AI.
For some reason, we've been Okay, so disclosure, we've been into a lot of Korean stuff lately. We've gotten back into like
Where's this going?
because you said X-Men,
Oh,
and my head immediately went to the variety show X-Men that we used to watch. And I was like, oh, nope, that's not what she's talking. That's not what she's
very
talking
random and also not what I was talking about.
about. Sorry. Look it up on YouTube. It's a fantastic show. It's
fun.
It'll look like it was filmed like with a potato because it's like early 2000s,
Oh,
late
yeah.
90s. It was a late 90s, early 2000s show.
Yeah, it's made up of like 5 pixels.
but
it's still a lot of
it's
fun.
a lot of fun.
Watch Running Man.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and watch
a
the show
couple
Running
episodes
Man.
of X-Men and then jump on over to Running Man.
And then come talk to us about it.
Yes, please.
So, Josh missed the question about AI. So by the end of round 1, it was 6-7 in favor of Josh Macuga. Round 2.
Oof.
Round 2. Eliot spins away from rom-coms and gets spinner's choice.
And he spins away from rom-coms because the strength of Josh Macuga. He actually did compete at that
in a rom-com
exhibition,
exhibition,
which we have yet to watch.
Gets spinner's choice, picks the 1990s. He goes to multiple choice twice, gets one, misses one, and it was not stolen. It was, I forget what the question was, but it was one that Josh was like right there.
It was
he needed to know somebody's name. Viola Davis.
No, that was his round. What you're talking about actually does happen several times in this match to Josh, where
Josh
like
got intergeeked him.
Yeah,
Viola Davis.
but that was in his round.
Oh well, then I don't remember.
No,
but he was like real close.
Yeah, but what you're talking about does happen to him like 5 different times in this match, where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, his initial thought was right, but he's like, I'm gonna go this way.
Maybe it was ring rust. Who knows?
Yeah.
So yeah, missed but no steal. Josh goes. He gets mixed bag, spins away
away from
very
it.
quickly, and gets intergeekdom.
And again,
Not his favorite.
Hindsight is 2020. Do you think had he gone with mixed bag,
He might have had a better shot.
might have had a better shot because it might have had movies that he's actually more familiar with?
Who knows?
But-
So he goes to multiple
yeah.
choice 3 times, gets 2 of them, misses 1. Luckily, it wasn't stolen, but he did also have a big old 2-point miss that was stolen. So by the end of round 2, 9-13, Mr. Dewberry.
Ooh.
Round 3. 2-point for Josh. New releases. Which actor plays basketball coach Jack Cunningham in The Way Back? And he got it with ease. 3-pointer for Josh. Spy films. Who played the villain? Oh, this was one of them. Who played the villain in the 1998 box office flop, The Avengers?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Not the one you're thinking of.
The villain in The Avengers.
Sean
Tom
Connery.
Hiddleston.
No.
Was this a different Avenger?
This is a different
I mean,
Avengers.
obviously it was 98.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
No, this is-
But was this like Marvel Avengers?
No, it's a completely different movie.
Copyright infringement. Am I right, ladies?
I've
Were the Avengers not a thing back then?
I
It was called The Avengers, but it wasn't Marvel related.
Yeah, no. I can't speak about this movie too much because I think I've only seen it once and I hardly paid attention.
Well, the bad guy was Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, and this was one of the where he's like, wait, he was the bad guy. It's like
Yeah.
it ended up he ended up being the bad guy all along, or he ended up turning.
He started
again,
good and then became bad.
something like that. I remember I hardly know this movie, but my initial thought was like, yeah, Sean Connery, and that's what his is like. but-
R.I.P.
Yeah. But this happened to him several different times in this match where it's like,
it
go
was
with
just
your
like
gut.
right on the tip of his brain, and
Yeah.
he just couldn't get it out, or he just decided against his gut.
God, what was that other one where he was like, oh man, it was a director of
It was an inner geekdom question.
no, it was from one of John Dewberry's questions where it's like,
the one that he didn't steal. That I do not remember.
yeah, it's like, oh, you think I would have known the director? I can't remember what the answer was, but yeah, it happened to him so many times, and it's like, oh, but on the flip side of that, he was being typical Josh Macuga. It's like, is it this?
Yeah, he did
And
that a couple of times, once or twice.
Yeah, like that whole like if there was
Macuga magic.
Macuga magic, like he did. This was a classic Josh Macuga match. Like
Pretty much.
there was a couple in the first round who's like, was it this? It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Classic Josh.
Yeah.
Always a joy to watch. So, missed that one. 5-pointer for Josh. Tom Cruise. In Jerry Maguire, what is the one thing Jerry takes from the office after being fired. I don't know if Josh was thinking about, Office Space
Yeah, that's
with
what
the
he said.
swing line stapler,
Yeah.
red stapler. So he went with stapler, and it definitely wasn't. What was it? A fish?
It was a
or
goldfish.
Something? Goldfish. I didn't know that. I looked it up. Let me not falsely advertise. I Googled it.
Yeah.
So he did miss it, 11-13 in favor of Eliot Dewberry in a TKO.
And of course,
corruption.
Corruption gets a knockout win. Of course, that's the way it's been going this season. And
Yeah.
it's like, ugh.
Wild.
It's like they're just padding their lead now. They're like at what, 60 something now?
60 something. 60, I don't know.
I can't remember. They're so far ahead right now.
They're definitely in the 60s with this, I think.
And it's like, one, they get the knockout points. Two, Josh Macuga is no longer competing in the movie Trivia Schmoedown, and that's a bummer. That is such a bummer because he was.
I mean, granted, this is the first time he's competed in quite some time. But just the fact that the option is gone, is heartbreaking.
Yeah, and he's one of those where, like, again, it's not a big secret, but like him and Ken, very casual with their involvement. But when they do get called to it, it's like they give it.
Oh, they give it their all.
They give it their all. They give, especially with Ken on the announcer desk. Josh with everything else. Like, he's at the awards presenting. He's there for live events when they have him for the hype man.
Yeah,
like the pre-show hype man. Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, and we'll see him in that capacity, but it's just not.
It's just
it's not going to be the same with
he's
that.
He's been there since season 1.
Yeah, he has. He's been in this league since its inception.
He is this league.
It's like now you can only say that about like a couple of competitors now. Mark Riley's in there. Oh God, I don't think Roka was in there season 2. I know that. I can't remember if I'm dating myself, or I'm not dating myself, but I'm exposing my knowledge of their Schmoedown right now. But yeah, he's one of the founding members of this league, and for him to go out, and I said this before when this match got announced, that's like you're gonna have a Josh Macuga potentially like retire match. You got to have it at Spectacular. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
I
mean, this was one of the most, hottest things to come out of the draft was the Wildberries being broken up.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I could only imagine what would have happened if this happened in front of a live audience. I mean, I know that Spectacular is virtual, but it's fun to think about what would have happened if Spectacular were live and it did happen there. I think it would have been pretty big.
Do you think that it had Corona not like annihilated all 2020? And we were able to have Spectacular in front of a live audience like was last year. Do you think this match goes into one of those spots?
I think potentially, yeah. Because if Corona hadn't happened, I'm not sure that Kevin Smith and Chris Jericho would have had the same schedules.
A great point. That is a great point, because I think that a big reason why those two matches are in Spectacular is because, just remote them in. We don't have to make
I'm in my living room, ready to go, not wearing pants.
Exactly. And you don't have to fly them in or whatever. Make sure the schedules line up. Now it's like, oh, well, you hop in for like 30 minutes, you hop out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it would have had more potential if Corona wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So wash your hands and be careful. Because I'd like to get back to the live setting.
I would like to too.
I wanted to go to a live draft this year. I was excited for that.
Who knows if the draft awards will be a live
I
event.
do not think they will.
It's probably going to be digital.
Sucks.
That sucks.
I mean, it's still gonna be fun, but it's gonna be different because that draft was so much fun.
Oh my God, the atmosphere in the draft, especially when this Dewberry news dropped. You can, if you look back in the highlight on the promo, which again, Nerd Chronic,
oh my God, he's a wizard.
Knocks all these out of the park. But like, you see in the promo of like when like, oh my God, the Wild Bears broken up. You could see me in the corner, and I'm like, what? What?
There's like one shot where there's two people like standing up in the crowd, and Andrew's one of them.
Yeah, you look at the guy in the I believe I was wearing a purple shirt.
I think you're wearing
like
a purple shirt.
Pinkish purple.
Yeah, light purple.
No, it was like a dark pink.
Like a periwinkle. Was it? Oh, because you were matching the dress I was wearing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. It was probably like a purpley pink.
Purpley pink.
Pinky purple.
Hey, I look good in that color.
You do.
I look very good in that color.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see me in like, I think I'm on the left side of that screen. You can see my hands. I'm like, oh my God,
what
happened? But yeah, that's the effect the Wild Bears have on this league, and especially Josh Macuga. Because who could forget Josh wiping his rear end with with the title belt?
His undercarriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get that with any other competitor.
No, and then we still got like a Josh Macuga send off when
Mm-hmm.
after the match he like took off his shirt and did like his Josh Macuga dad dance.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But it's just so
Yeah. It is. It's like, oh man, because like, yeah, he probably doesn't want to compete to the capacity as other competitors.
But I want him to be able to jump in whenever he can and wants to.
Yeah, exactly.
For a
We
fun,
want that option.
carefree match.
We want that option to have him have just like fun and
Now
like,
we're never gonna get a Schmoedown Bro Down where they just play flip cup. It's never gonna happen now.
bro down.
That's what I wanted to happen.
Whatever.
Between the
We'll
two
have
of
our
them.
own matches with Josh Macuga.
Wouldn't that be great?
You got a bunch of diehard questions written up.
Oh my god! Imagine if you had Schmoedown beer pong, Eliot Dewberry, Josh Macuga, or some other pairing. Oh, Ben Bateman versus Andrew Guy. Also, imagine if you had beer pong. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if the row with 3 cups had like 2-point level questions, and then the row with 2 had 3-pointer questions, and then the last one was like a 10-pointer or a 5-pointer, whatever.
So if you
And then if you make it into that person's cup, they got to answer that question.
if they miss it, they drink it, and if they get it, they can put it back.
Ooh,
We're no, okay. So we're officially trademarking.
that's fun.
We're officially putting the stamp on
Schmoedown Bro Down.
Schmoedown. Well, we can't call it bro down.
Because we got to be inclusive
Yes,
to the ladies.
Yes, we'll come up with a different name for it, but we're putting our mark on that.
Yeah.
and we'll see if we can.
We'll market it.
And we'll see if we can find a way to do it digitally.
Get little pucks that you can like attach to a solo cup, and then
Well, no, because you know what the point value is for the things. So you have like a spreadsheet on your computer. So they make it, and you could ask the question. So you can repeat. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We can make this work.
we can make that happen.
We're
That'd be so much fun.
that'd be a lot of fun. Oh man, Schmoedown Bro Down.
That'd be so much fun. Imagine Josh and Eliot doing that.
Yeah.
And the winner is King Schmo. That'd be great. Oh man. Anyways, Josh is retired, so that's
Yeah.
a thing now. So we just gotta live with that,
Yeah.
I guess. Thanks 2020, am I right? Jeez.
But yeah, I mean, it sucks.
It does.
It does.
So that was the Throwdown. And the next thing that we're going to have to talk about next time is Deception versus the Lethal Weapons and Founding Fathers versus the Witching Power.
And we did misspeak that the people, so the winner of the Witching Power and Founding Fathers don't go up against Odd Couple. They go up against Final Exam.
It's really hard to keep brackets straight in my brain.
We had people on wrong sides of brackets. We should have had the graphic in front of us, but
Listen, you're working with somebody who still has to look at their headphones for the R and the L to see which way they go. So
the wire goes on your left side, my dear.
Well, I did it right. I mean, that's the kind of mind you're working with here, people. This is my quarantine mind, not at my sharpest.
Quarantine toddler raising mind.
Yes. Oh, man.
In the middle of potty training mind. Oof.
Casual potty training. Yeah, very casual.
But we're yeah. Got big plans this weekend for it, though.
I used to be at the top of my class. I used to be an academic, and people thought I was a big old nerd, but now look at me. Oh, which one makes an L? That one's my left side. That's where I'm at now, so
Yeah.
I can't keep brackets straight in my head. Give me a break.
So we will be going over those matches on Monday's episode. Just like because we're at like 40 minutes now for this episode. We'd like to keep those episodes down for our
Yeah, because
our
who's got the
schedule.
time? We're trying to help you conserve. There's a lot of content to consume, and we don't want to be making you listen to a 3-hour show.
yeah.
You got other shows
But
to
I'm not
listen to.
complaining about the amount of content that we have to watch.
Oh, no. I'm just talking in general. There's just a lot of content in the world that people need to
Oh, yeah.
consume right
That's
now.
right.
So,
To
got to
catch
keep it
that
concise.
new episode of The Mandalorian, which I haven't watched yet because it's Thursday and not Friday, but this episode comes out on Friday.
So by the time you listen to this, we probably will have watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I don't want to say anything because who knows who's where in Mandalorian. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody.
Yeah.
I was about to say
Hey, did you see that one thing that happened?
Did you hear when Redacted talked about Redacted and then they went to see
You know,
Redacted?
Redacted might have happened, but something's gonna happen to him in the middle of getting to A to B.
I don't think we're gonna see redacted until at least redacted.
Yeah. What about redacted from that episode?
Crazy. Mm-hmm. Catch up on The Mandalorian if you haven't.
We're blabbering around right now, but I think we'll go ahead and end this episode here. Nicki Dimalanta, where can they
Twitter. You can find me on Twitter.
Just cut me right off.
Dimmy, DIMMMYYY.
As for me, Twitter and Twitch at Drew Dimalanta, DIM. Not Twitch. Sorry, Twitter and Instagram. At Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. I'm not streaming anymore. I don't know why I said Twitch. Maybe
one day.
God, it's so hard.
Who knows?
It's so hard. But anyways, if you're listening on audio form, please follow the feed. Rate us, please. It'd be tremendously helpful to us. And if they're watching us on YouTube,
like, comment, subscribe, babies. And then if you want to, there's a bell icon in the corner. Click it if you want to see what we do things on YouTube.
And we will be getting those projects out to you as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Anyways, with that, we'll wow, what is wrong with me? We will go ahead and end this episode here. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. We'll see you next time.